Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Maria Gonçalves podcast. I'm your host, Maria Gonçalves, and today we have three special guests. We have Leah, Stephanie, and Norma. And for those of you guys that are following this podcast, we've actually interviewed them back in July. If you guys go back in the podcast, it was July 18th that the first episode dropped with these three moms. And we have Betsy. So we're sending our love to Betsy because she's not feeling so well today. So she couldn't join us. But we're following these three moms and their grieving journey. And let me start with Leah. Can you share with us? So I'm just going to go around the squares, I guess, where each mom will introduce themselves and let you know about their children in spirit.
Okay. I am Leah, Tom's mom. My son Thomas passed away on, I believe it was, I actually looked up the date today because, I'm always like wanting to know how many days, and it was 1,114 days ago. Thomas passed away. That was in November of 22. It was 2 weeks ago. It was the 3-year anniversary. And at year three, I can tell a big difference at how it felt at year two, at, month by month. I feel like in this journey, I'm learning how to live with it. There's no cycle where you move through it. You learn to live with it. And so that's my journey in a summary.
Thank you. And Stephanie?
Hi, I'm Stephanie. I am Josiah's mom. My son, Josiah David, passed away a year and a half ago on May 25th, 24. He passed away due to an accidental drowning, and I'm here to honor him and talk about him daily. It doesn't get easier. You just learn to live with it, like Leah says. And that's very factual, is you just have to learn who you are becoming every day.
Thank you. And Norma?
I'm Norma, and my son transitioned April 27th in a DUI car crash. It's been a year and 7 months, and like the ladies say, that we have to learn how to live with it, but we also are numb,
Yeah.
and we're in a survivor mode, learning how to survive. This journey, it's a hard journey because I still feel like it was yesterday. Um, it doesn't, they're always in our mind, even when we wake up. Um, I'm always thinking about him, always crying. Not that much as before, but we do. We miss our loved ones. We
Mhm.
lift our, we miss them a lot. Sometimes I talk to myself. I talk to Junior and say, I miss him coming out of the shower. Mom, smell my hair. Look at how does it smell? I go, it smells good. I miss that deep voice that he was coming a young man. Um, my routine changed a lot from nothing now, from him, going to practice every day and watching him play at his baseball games. That was our one-on-one, going, driving him to his baseball games and talking to him and talking how his day went. And it's like my love is so strong that he will never be forgotten. Yes.
Thank you for sharing. I was wondering because I know we had a bit of this conversation for grieving moms that have had miscarriages. Would anybody like to speak to that? Because I know I've had uh, people that will want to join Facebook groups for grieving moms, and there's a lot out there on Facebook. So choose what resonates with you. And having the conversation with me, do you think it counts? Because I had a miscarriage. I don't know if I'll be accepted into the group. So, what do you moms say if you've had that experience to those
Uh,
moms?
I I believe that it does count because I still had I was depressed for a very long time. Um with that miscarriage, I was 5 months pregnant, and even though I just met him for a couple of minutes, it still counts. It's a baby that we carry in our stomach. And we're us knowing that we're expecting and losing that child, it's part of our life, and we're expecting to have the baby, and all of a sudden we lose it. It's like, I think it counts.
I want to say that it's to me it's even offensive that we have to say does it count or not. As a society, one of the hardest things for a mom, in my opinion, through a grief process is the fact that there is a part of your body that you share DNA with, that you have a connection in your soul.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's what child loss is. Like, we are grieving that loss, that connection. They're part of our souls. And, without a doubt, a child that, even though it hasn't been born yet, it's still something that you share your DNA with that will forever be connected to your soul. And to be made to feel just overall as a society, like, do I even get to say I'm a grieving mom? And you absolutely do. And you learn how to celebrate what not celebrate, but you do get to grieve. And I think that's a really big miss that I've noticed, like, since Thomas died. Um, you know, I too probably before this didn't recognize the reality of a miscarriage. I don't even think I had an opinion on it. But after Thomas died, and I see how people struggle with that and being accepted, it's like, man, yes, ma'am, that is your baby for always and forever. Yeah.
Yeah. Stephanie, did you want to say anything?
Like I've shared before that I've lost two children after Josiah, and I had an abortion actually when I was very young, and people don't talk about it. It's very taboo. It's kind of like, there was no living child, but it's like Leah says, it's a part of you. It's still a spirit that was with you because every person has a spirit, right? And so it was still part of this world, whether it wasn't in the world physically, but inside of you. And it's like, for me, a woman is born with the amount of eggs that she's going to have throughout her life. So that child was already formed in my mother's womb because it was within me. So how can I not grieve my children, even
Yes.
though they weren't here physically? Because I can't say that it hurts as much as losing Josiah, but I can tell you that it freaking hurts. And it makes you wonder if you're ever going to be good enough to have another child or to have a child in general. I've seen my cousin who couldn't have children go through miscarriage after miscarriage after miscarriage and IVF treatments and all these things. And all that she wanted to do was become a mother. And why does she not get to grieve the children that she lost just because they weren't here, what people think, long enough? And I think that women who have gone through miscarriages are very brave and very strong. And there is nothing worse than losing a child in any form. It's horrible in any way that you can think of it. Just losing a child, period, is unnatural. You know, when a woman finds out that they're pregnant, the first thought is not, oh, I'm going to lose my child. It's you start building dreams for that child. You start building a vision of what you want that child's life to be like. So when you lose that pregnancy, you're losing those dreams. You're losing those visions that you had for that child. So absolutely, a grieving mom is a mom who has lost any type of child at any stage of life and at any age.
And I would add, just real quick, if you are a a miscarriage grieving mom, and you want to be in a group, but you're just not sure if you would belong. If you were actually told no, you don't belong, that was not the good group for you. A group established by a grieving mom, I cannot imagine it ever saying, unless the child was pushed out of your vagina or cut out via C-section. Like, I just cannot imagine that. So steer clear of people that don't support your grieving journey. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I agree with you. I can't imagine any group saying you can't join us.
Right.
So if there is a grieving mom out there that is listening to us and there's groups you want to join, I think ask, join, because you're a grieving mom. Every soul counts. I was gonna ask because as the holidays are coming and they're just a few weeks ago with Christmas, and I know Leah, you just it was the third year anniversary of your son last week, right? Was it last week or 2 weeks
Yeah,
ago?
it was, week or two. November 21st was the last day of his 5-day death cycle that I call it. So that was week before last, maybe.
Yeah. How are you ladies doing? Because we're all following your journey. How's everybody? Are you getting ready for the holidays? Like, what do the holidays look like for you now?
Um,
Go ahead.
the holidays for me look that I don't really celebrate it in my house anymore. Because Josiah loved Christmas. He would start singing Jingle Bells like in April. So he definitely loved getting gifts, getting all his dinosaurs. So it's been hard, even for my children, to want to put up the Christmas tree, to want to do all the things that we used to do before. So Christmas looks a little bit different for us these days. What we have chosen to do, my husband and I, is that we started Josiah's Peeps Foundation. And so we give back to children who have disabilities. Josiah was level 1 autistic. And so we do a toy giveaway to all of the children in his classroom. So every year it's pre-K class that we give toys to. Last year we had 26 kids, and this year we have 40.
Wow.
So that's how I focus my time. And I can't do a lot for Josiah these days physically, but what I can do is give back and continue to speak on his name so that he can always be remembered.
Awesome. Oh, and then can we mention Betsy's toy drive? Because that is happening right now, right, ladies?
Yeah. Stephanie, do you want to speak on it?
Oh, you're good, Leah. Go ahead.
Are you sure it doesn't? Well, so
It doesn't matter.
so Betsy lost Cheka in June of last year, and Cheka's birthday is October the 30th. And I'm sorry, but this is hard to talk about. Just hold on one second. Cheka, okay. Betsy initially, after Cheka died monthly, she was doing, grand awareness events on a monthly basis to raise awareness of Cheka. So naturally, when it became Cheka's birthday, they wanted to do something special. So she started working with Toys for Tots, which was just a natural, thing that was already going on during this time of the year. So she did that last year, and it was really successful. She's doing it again this year in Philly. That's where she lives. She's got boxes around town. There's like restaurants and stuff. So she is actively doing the toy drive for Cheka as well.
Okay. So I'm going to have that link there for you guys. Stephanie, do you have a link for them, or like is your stuff online?
Right now it's just an Amazon wish list, and we already met our goal. Well, we're just like 5 toys away. But my husband's job,
amazing.
my husband works at a big dealership, more than Chevrolet here in Tampa, and they actually are doing a toy drive as well. So, in the grand scheme of things, they are filling up a trunk full of toys is their goal for the 12th. And I'll be able to not only give to the 40 children, but we'll be able to extend it out to more families than we expect.
Nice.
So
Wow, that's amazing.
That's
I get
great.
chills just thinking about it, because last year when I did it for the first time, I went to Josiah's classroom and his classmates were still there. And they said, "This is Josiah's mommy."
Yeah.
And a little girl named Amy, who has dwarfism, she loved Josiah. And when she heard, "This is Josiah's mommy," she ran to me and she just embraced me and asked me to pick her up. And everybody was like in awe, because she's not the type of kid to go to anybody. And then other kids followed suit and they just surrounded me. And in that moment, I could feel Josiah.
Yeah. Beautiful.
And so I could literally hear him like laughing through the hall, and I could see him running in the playground, and I could just see, because he loved it there. And so all that to say is that we're very blessed that people want to give to this cause. And I just hope that next year, I'm an established foundation and I can do even more, because I love seeing the looks on the little kids' faces when they just get a simple toy, and it's beautiful. It really is. And it's children who need it. Josiah went to a community school because that's where they had the program for the autistic children. But it is a school that has primarily, immigrant families, not a lot of resources for those families. They have like a pantry and they have a clothing pantry for them. So it's just beautiful to be able to do for others the way that God does for us, right? And it's just, spreading that love and spreading that memory of Josiah, and making sure that every child knows who Josiah was. And so if I can reach more than 40 children, then those children are going to reach other children and other children, and some moms are going to talk about it, and my son is going to be talked about, and that's what matters to me.
Absolutely.
Oh, I love it. And their names live on forever. I love it. So Norma, how are you doing for the holidays?
It was kind of hard. It's kind of hard. Last year we didn't do anything. This year, because Junior was the one that would always decorate his tree. He was always, when are we going to decorate the tree? When are we going to decorate? And we started buying like ornaments, what he liked to do, like cup of noodles. He liked winter schnitzel. So we started buying all these different ornaments about him.
I love that, Norma. I did that the first year too.
Yeah, so from now on, it's going to be about him. They're going to be the same ornaments. I have a nephew that his girlfriend draws, so she made like 3 big huge ornaments and painted his face, oil based on those ornaments. And so they're on the tree, and then I have some pictures of him when he did in kindergarten and all through his grade schools. The pictures are there too. My husband didn't want to put it on. I told him we're going to do it for him. So that's the only thing that we decorated. And then I have an altar of him with wings and stuff. And we put a candle all the time. And I decorated the roof. So he's all decorated there. But I did, in honor of him, we sponsored a family from Salvation Army. So we bought all the gifts on that list. And so it's going to be in honor of him.
That's awesome.
Giving to a family in need. And that's going to be an everyday thing, every year thing, that we're going to do for him in honor of him. Now that we, we're not buying gifts for him or from the other family, because it's changed a lot. We're going to do it for him in honor of him.
Awesome.
So that's the only way we're honoring Junior for Christmas. And we're going to have, because Junior was a person that he would love people coming over, and he'll ask every Friday. He would ask, "Who's coming over? Who are you guys inviting?" because and he's all, we'll invite this. He didn't care if it was kids or not. If it was older, he was happy. He was an old soul. So I go, oh, we're inviting these people. Oh, the good. So we're gonna make carne asada. I go, yes. So that has changed, but we are gonna make his special food that he likes all the time, tamales and his birria or carnitas. So that's gonna be for him. You know, we did it last year, only family, but we're not inviting anybody. It's only, you know, me, my 2 girls, my husband, and my mom. That's about it. Christmas has changed a lot.
Junior must have wanted us to have tamales for him too, because my mom is here for the holidays and she brought tamales from Texas.
Oh no, yeah, yeah. So we're gonna make tamales just for Junior, and you know, we place we place a plate on our table for him, and he eats his tamale.
I love that.
Lovely.
And
That's so lovely.
My mom still feeds him till this day. She gives him his 3 foods.
Nice.
Yeah, you know, on our table.
I have a question, Norma, because you said a few times things have changed. Like it's not the same. Like what do you mean by that? Like the parties, like you made them smaller, just so people that are listening can understand deeper your story.
Junior was the person, always the light of the gathering. There's an emptiness, you know. There's an emptiness that he was the loud one. He was the light of the crowd. And now that that I'm noticing, all our children that have passed were that way. Yes. They were the light of the crowd.
They were.
They were the loud ones. Junior didn't judge no one. He accepted everyone how they were. Yeah. And he's changed my form of thinking now, you know. It's like I didn't used to see it that way, and now that I see all these children transition, they were the light. And it's not the same. There's something missing. Yeah. That my life cannot be the same anymore.
Oh, thank you. I do want to add, for those of you, if you're listening to this on a podcast, go over to YouTube, because each of the moms has a beautiful picture of their children. So Leah has a pin. Look at that. Look at that gorgeous guy.
So handsome.
Beautiful.
So handsome.
Yes.
And then Norma's got her son there. Look at that. Even the face says life of the party. Look at that smile. Yeah. How big is that pillow? That's a pillow, right?
Yeah.
I love look at that.
I think I want to get a body-sized pillow. Like I'm waiting
I have another one in my room. He's dressed as a cowboy.
Oh my goodness, I love it.
And he's like this.
So handsome.
I'm waiting on AI to come out with holograms so I can have a hologram of Thomas. I'm really hoping that happens, like, you know, in the next couple of years, so I can actually talk to him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see yours, Stephanie.
This is my boy, Joziah.
Can you see his hair? Turn it like where we can see his hair from the top. Like his hair was
wild hair.
So beautiful. Yeah.
Look at that. That was gorgeous.
Him and Cheka were twins.
Yeah, definitely.
And they were only 10 days apart. Joziah was born October 20th and Cheka was born October 30th of the same year.
Oh, wow. They look so handsome. So, you know, I wanted to ask Norma, because I saw you did a Facebook post at Halloween, and it was at the cemetery at your son's grave, and you did flowers.
Yes.
It was so beautiful. Can you explain to our listeners and viewers what that was?
That was the Day of the Dead. It's called Dia de los Muertos. And you could decorate, our cemetery lets us decorate for 2 weeks. So I did a small one for Junior last year. I didn't have the energy, you know, because it was recently and stuff. And this year I'm going to go all out. So I did it, and I put Junior. It's all real flowers. And I did it by myself with no help. My husband helped me just put some stuff in, but I spent 3 days from Friday to Sunday to finish that the flowers. And it's funny because for Father's Day, I told Junior I picked them up from practice, and he told me, I told him, I go, hey, Pa, because I used to call him Pa. I go, let's go buy some flowers for your dad for Father's Day. So flowers for a guy? And I go, yes, guys could have flowers. So, okay, Mom. So we went and we got him a bunch of, yellow flowers, roses and stuff, and we gave them to him for Father's Day and stuff. If it wasn't for Father's Day, it was Valentine's Day. And now look at him. He's the one that's getting all these fresh flowers now. And every time we give him flowers, I'm just laughing. I go, look at, now you're getting all the flowers, and you're a boy. And I could just hear him laughing, because he was like surprised I was gonna go get flowers for his dad. And but coming to the cemetery, I did it. It was 4 feet wide, 6 feet long. How they opened that's how big the flower bed was. And it's called Dia de los Muertos in Mexico. They celebrate that a lot. November 1st, the spirit, they believe that spirit, all the kids come on the 1st, and then on the 2nd, all spirits are able to come and visit their loved ones on the 2nd. So that's why they celebrate. They put altars on their grave, and they put food, lightning and everything, whatever they liked and stuff.
You
So
put
that's
the
what I did.
marigolds?
Huh?
The marigolds?
Yeah, the marigolds. So
Yeah.
that's why I did it for my son.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I love it. I love it, Norma.
The
Yeah.
Disney movie Coco.
Yes.
Thomas came home he was like late junior high, early high school, came home from school and said they had watched it and he cried
Yeah.
with Coco. So,
That was a good movie.
Leah, talking about Coco, my son was a singer. And I put him in singing lessons, and he wanted to try everything. My son wasn't he wanted to try everything. So I put him in singing lessons. He had a good, nice voice, and I'm not lying. He would sing all the songs of Coco.
oh wow, yes,
with a beautiful voice. And I took him when we went to Mexico. He went and he met Mama Coco before she passed.
Lovely,
Yeah.
lovely.
Yes.
That's awesome.
That
Yeah.
is awesome.
Coco. Yeah.
So, Norma, what do the colors mean? Like, it's marigold, it's orange. That has a significance, doesn't it? That color, that flower?
Yeah, I
It's the
don't know.
bridge.
Yeah, it's the root. I don't know, but it has a nice smell. The flower has a nice smell. And I don't know, they use just orange, marigold. And they also use pink and yellow colors.
So, in Mexico, because I'm part Mexican, so I know this. The marigolds represent the streets of gold. That they say that we are in once we pass, and that is the bridge that is made of gold that they use to come back to this side and visit. So that's why we use the marigolds.
Oh,
Nice.
wow.
Yeah.
That is nice.
Yes, I love it very much so, and I do it for Joziah as well.
Uh-huh.
So do you really? That's beautiful. Do you decorate for Christmas then, Norma?
I
Like at the
decorated.
cemetery?
I did. I went and I put on a cemetery. I put 2 poinsettias. I have a Christmas tree there, and I have like the nutcrackers there. We can't decorate as much as like Dia de los Muertos because they all go out. Honestly, that was their 2nd year doing it in that cemetery, and thousands of people go. They didn't think that it was going to be a lot of people going. So they did it the 2nd time, and they have food trucks and stuff. So on our side, because people started seeing what I did, all our side looked really nice, and the other ones, they didn't come this far because I'm all the way in the back. They didn't have that much stuff like we had. All our lot where Junior's at, it was all decorated with marigolds. Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah.
That's so
And I
amazing.
also decorate Christmas at his where his accident was,
Yeah.
at the
Wow.
memorial. Yes.
I know, like my dad, the cemetery, we just decorated with lights,
Mhm.
but
Uh,
we're not allowed to decorate like in the picture that you had posted on Facebook. Like
mhm.
you had a big area. We're not allowed to do that. We're just allowed to do, I guess, a foot from the stone.
Oh,
That's it, like a foot or two, but we can still decorate. And I'll see families there that have lost their children and they decorate, and it's got the Christmas trees and the Christmas lights and the wreaths. And you
yeah,
meet the families and you hear the stories. And I find it's like, and this just from my own experience, I find like it's a whole nother community, the cemetery.
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's family
Yes.
because we start meeting a lot of new people, and we start hi, and we start just talking, and um, it's amazing. You know, it's a different kind of place to just gather. But there's people that just want to go party and stuff, and it's like, no, we're here to grieve, not to
Mhm.
party in this area. But
Yeah.
yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah, I decorate for Josiah at home because he is cremated.
Yeah.
But ever since I was very little, my mom passed away when I was 7. And so I remember, going to the cemetery and, I would always see people there and they ask, well, who are you here to visit? And you kind of just, get to share the story of your family. And it becomes like an extension of your family because you grieve together. And, I met a lot of nice older women when I was little who, were always, just they would put flowers for my mom as well and leave her things. And it was just beautiful to have that as well. Especially since I've moved away. My mom's, buried in Texas. So I don't get to visit my mom's grave. So it's good that people still carry on those things, even though, it's been, oh God, it's been 28 years now since my mom passed away.
Yeah. Wow. And Leah, is your son buried or cremated?
Thomas was cremated. Um, I sometimes do find myself wishing had, some sort of place that was a memorial to Thomas. I could do that here on my
Mhm.
property, even, like it's not like a big deal really, but um, I don't know. I go to the cross. I do, do some things where he passed away. Uh, but, you know, no, my father passed away in 1988, and I have not been to that cemetery in, I don't know, decades. Like I don't have a connection to the
To the
of course
place.
that's a reflection of my culture.
Yeah.
This is yeah, so um just how it was, I guess, but I do wish that I, had some sort of, I don't know, place to hang a wreath that meant, besides the cross with the guardrail behind it that
Yeah.
essentially was the weapon. So,
Right.
it's mixed feelings for me.
Of course. It's understandable, yeah.
Yeah. But Thomas and I, in terms of holidays, Maria, when you had reached out to us about doing this, I almost said no because I don't have holiday traditions. But I thought, I might have something to say about that could help another mom that, experiences this, because we do have some sort of pressure from somewhere to perform as a grieving mom
Hmm.
at the appropriate times.
Hmm.
The holidays being one. So The holidays for me were never magical growing up. They were not joy or safety. So when I became a mom, I did not want to recreate that type of experience for my kids. And with my oldest son, Hunter, I always let him go to his dad's on Christmas Eve. Santa always came to his dad's, always. But when Thomas came along, it was just me and him. I raised him alone, literally, every day. And so the holidays already looked different in our house just because of how I felt about it. But when Thomas noticed how other kids would get huge gifts and he didn't, um, I refused to let him think that he was less deserving. And so I taught him that Santa is income based. And this is the whole thing I wanted to say about this because, parents, the pressure that are put on parents to perform at Christmas is just gross to me. And so, I taught Thomas that Santa is income based and he got that. I mean, he was probably, well, obviously he was young enough to still believe. I mean, and he didn't believe late in life, but so I taught him that Santa was income based. And
I love that, Leah. I'm going to start using that with my
you
other kids.
should. I say it so loudly because that is a ton of guilt, for the parents and for the kids. So, we never had that picture perfect Christmas. We didn't save for one day on the calendar. Literally, it was like, what do you want for Christmas this month? And, it's what we would do. So when Thomas died, it didn't just shatter some holiday magical tradition I have. It was actually a relief that I no longer have to worry about the holidays. I have two grandkids and it's not a time I'm willing to celebrate. We do it other times. The first year, Thomas died in the holidays, so obviously I don't remember the first year, but the second year, I'm like, there's no way I'm ever touching another ornament. That's how I survive. So we all have our different ways. Some people can see those ornaments and get joy from them, but not me. I haven't thought about them in a while, but at that point, I'm like, I'm never going to touch them again. They're never even going to come out. And at work, I asked one of my coworkers, I was like, if you have like just one old ornament you want to get rid of, bring it to me, because that's how I'll just start new ones. Because I don't care if I had a tree or not, but I knew people would expect me to see that I was grieving,
Right.
So one of my coworkers called me and she's like, we're going to get some ornaments together. What kind of theme do you want? And I'm like, Thomas loved Bob Ross. And so I said, a happy tree. That's what I want is a happy tree. And so I got all kinds of not Christmas related ornaments. It's a happy tree and it stays up. It's been on since that Christmas. I add stuff to the happy tree. Like I found a Rainbow Bright stuffy from the 80s on eBay, and so that's on the happy tree. And whatever goes on there is what remains of what would look like Christmas. But Christmas does not have to look like people expect it to. It doesn't. So I'm not celebrating the holidays. I'm celebrating survival. And, that love didn't die with him. So I just try to make it feel this is the normal. This is how it will feel forever for me. And I live with it. I learned how to move this with me every day. And, Christmas is just another
day.
It is, yeah. And I mean, I'm already messed up right now because of the death anniversary. I just, y'all are going to be horrified when I say this. I just paid the last motorcycle payment. So obviously it was a 3-year note because November was the 3-year anniversary. I really am glad that that's over. I just let it be on auto pay and, but yeah, so I'm just done with this time of year and we're going to do Christmas like June, July, around that times.
I just want to tell you, Leah, that the way that you do it is how you're going to do it. And there is no right or wrong way at all.
Exactly.
And everybody has their own traditions. Everybody does things their own way. And every culture does things their own way. And let's be honest, Christmas is just a man-made holiday so people can spend their money. So I feel like we celebrate our children every day, and the magic is with
Yeah.
us always. And they're our Christmas, they're our Thanksgiving, they're everything because they're the reason, right? So who cares, Leah?
I agree with that. My
Right?
days don't feel different. Like it didn't feel different because it's his Christmas day or his birthday or his any day because someone asked me a couple of weeks ago, they said, "Oh, 3 years. It doesn't seem like that's been that long, does it?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, it feels longer than that. It's been over 1,000 nights that I've went to bed with a dead kid, and over 1,000 mornings I have woken up with a dead kid. That's a
Yeah,
lot, y'all. And we, for some reason, don't recognize the grief that moms go through. And I do specify to moms because this is a traumatic type grief that until the day you die, like that part of your soul that your shared DNA is severed. And so every morning you wake up and every night you go to bed, it's without that. And so that's the reality of it. And so I've learned how to wake up on every day with an intention of, today I'm going to live with this. I'm going to move forward with my dead son, and I'm going to try to, so it's the days aren't really different. I mean, for
a
me,
thousand mornings and 1,000 nights, but it's 1,000 days that you survived.
heck yeah, it is 1,000 days. And I tell people, don't guarantee yourself that you got it all day. I mean, like, moments like that's so many moments that we continue to survive. Like to say a day seems so big sometimes. Like hell, getting through the next 10 minutes, that's a victory for every grieving mom that still lives.
That's very
We've
true.
all been there, and so yeah.
I just want to say, as I was listening, thank you, Leah, because you give permission. I really do by sharing your story. You give permission to the other moms that are like feeling the exact same way and maybe
Mhm.
scared to voice it and may feel all of that pressure that they have to perform and they have to be
Mhm.
happy and they have to smile and they
Yeah.
have to entertain. And I love how because you're so good at articulating things and
Well,
just
I
saying
take it
like,
very personally. Like it is a very personal thing for me. The expectations that are put on grieving moms. Like I used to get contacted a lot. Like the ashes, the pictures, people want to take them down. Somebody's husband once wouldn't let her keep the picture of his son and the ashes on the bedside table. And so I'm like, okay, so you got to decide right now, is this what you want the rest of your life to be?
That's right.
Because if you were willing to put them in the closet, then I get it because but this is the person you're with that if you don't want to do that, you need to move forward from them. Like
That's
I
right.
encourage people to do that, and because we have to survive, we are the only ones that can survive this and learn how to without it killing us. It's a miracle to me that it is not a huge statistic of
yeah.
moms that lose their children that unalive. I mean, it truly is a miracle to me. And as a therapist who, I've worked with those type of people a lot, and it's a miracle to me that something inside women,
Yeah.
moms, we have a sense of strength and moving on like no other creature that has ever walked the face of the earth.
I think when they made moms, they broke the mold
But
because moms were
No, they
just
broke the mold when
amazing.
they made the dad.
you know what?
We
Sometimes,
are the mold. We are the good
We
heart.
are the mold.
but
Yes.
Leah. Sometimes we forget about our men too, because sometimes we think that our men are not grieving, but they
Hmm.
they grieve differently.
That's
Um,
it.
it's just
Differently.
it's just it's just like my husband. My husband's really heartbroken, and you could say it. You could see it every minute on his face.
Hmm.
He doesn't show it. He doesn't show it, but I was sick for Thanksgiving, and I called him, And I go, where are you at? He's all, oh, I came to visit Junior. And it's like, it broke my heart because
Mm-hmm.
he's a man. And I'm thinking, he's not showing his emotions. And look at, he's over there visiting his son,
Mm-hmm.
And also on Friday, the day that he didn't work. And he takes like, because of his work, he can't, the cemetery closes at 4:30. So he's not able to go every day to go visit him. But when he has that time, like Saturday,
Yeah.
if he gets out early, he'll go and visit him. And I go, where are you at? He's like, I'm here with my son visiting. And it's like
Nice.
we leave our men out sometimes, and it's like I see on Facebook, oh, my husband's not there. Not all husbands are like that. I go,
Right.
because my
And
husband is grieving.
I get asked frequently about, because Shattered Hearts Oasis, it's grieving moms. I've been asked so many times over the last couple of years, why not dads? And it's because I'm not a dad, and
Yeah.
I don't have the energy to try to figure out what it's like for dads. Um, I absolutely have a goal that part of what I do and what I'm doing, there will be a dad side of it, and that's up to a dad to develop, right? And I mean, Betsy's husband has he is
Yeah.
I'm amazed by the two of them
Yeah.
and
Me too.
just how they grieve and how I'm really hopeful that he will be in a good place one day, to become a mentor in a way for dads. Like, yes, the dads 100% do need support, but we're dealing with a society that has taught them that emotions means weakness.
Yep.
Yeah.
And as a grieving mom myself, that's a code that I'm not willing to crack.
Mhm.
Like I can't, but I want that. I know that there's support there that can happen. And, hopefully from my journey alone with the grieving moms, as this grows, I know we'll be able to have a clinically indicated space for dads that will help them to move forward too, you know?
I like that Norma brought that up. Thank you, Norma. Because
Yeah,
sometimes we
Yeah.
forget
absolutely.
about dads. And then,
Yes.
isn't there a statistic for like after you lose a child? Is it like 50% of the marriages end up in divorce because of
They
Yep.
the
say
stress?
80%,
A
eighty
lot.
Really?
percent, and it's
Mhm.
just sad
Wow.
that that has to happen because I was talking to a lady that said that after she lost her son, um, she was she kept on grieving her son. Of course, she's gonna grieve her son all her life, no matter what. And he needed to move on, and it's his son. He needed to move on. So she lost her kids, she lost her daughters, and she lost the husband too because they couldn't live that way,
Mm-hmm.
and she became homeless. And
Oh,
and
wow.
it's just sad, that um there's people like that they can't, and they just move on. I even see it on support groups too, that some men can't take it. They just leave the wife because the wife is numb.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm thankful. I told my husband today, when I told him that I gave the resignation of my postal work, and he's all, and I thanked him. I go, thank you for supporting me and whatever I needed to do. He's all, you know,
Yeah.
do what makes you happy.
Mhm.
And he knows that I'm in the line of mediumship. He's all, if you get more hours, you're not going to be able to do what you're doing. He's all, you're
Isn't that
trying to
beautiful?
connect. He's all, you need slower hours. So
Yes.
at least he knows that this is helping me, you know. So he's there for me, and I love it.
So, I don't know if I shared this last time. Josiah passed away the day before my wedding. Um,
Oh.
he passed away the day before our wedding, and my husband wanted to make sure that we were married before the eyes of God, before we had the funeral for our son. So we went dressed in normal clothes. I was a mess. I was in tears the whole time. Like I remember the county clerk looking at us like, what is happening? Why are you crying this way? Like, are you being forced to get married? And we told him, our son passed away the day before we were supposed to officiate our wedding. And I'm sorry.
You're okay.
No,
That's
you're
okay. Take your time.
Take a breath.
And my husband was the first one to mention the statistics, right? That 80% of couples who lose their children. What a sign of strength to walk into that room with my husband that day, that we had to look at our child laying in that casket to show him that mommy and daddy still held up their promise to him to be united for him. I remember Joziah wore the outfit that he was going to wear for the wedding for his viewing.
Mm.
Oh.
And I remember that the same day that I tried on his little suit on him before all of this happened, I had tried on my wedding dress in front of him. And when I put it on, the first thing that he said was, "My queen."
Aw.
And I'll never forget that.
Yeah.
I'll never forget that. And, my husband, he's Hispanic, Latino man. So they're taught not to cry,
Yeah.
not to show emotion. But my husband honors his son every single day. My son speaks about his son every single day. My husband has a picture of my son on his toolbox and at work, and he talks about his son every day. And I cannot count the level of support that he has had from men at his job who have not lost children, but they look at him as a brother and are there for him. And, we always talk about our men don't have support. And I think it's so important to highlight those men who are brave enough to support other men and
Yes.
who are brave enough to hug another man and say, "Hey, brother, I'm here for you," because it's not often. And I think we should definitely honor that. And
Mm.
like you said with Byron as well, he's very open about his grief, and
Yeah.
I think that's beautiful. But there's not many men like that.
There's
And
not.
I think that it takes an even stronger man to speak on how he really feels, and not saying that any man is less than, but just as Latino men just men in general, they're taught you have to be strong. You have to
Right.
put a brave face and just move forward. So the fact that Norma's husband gets up and goes to the cemetery and sits with his son, you don't know the conversation that
Beautiful.
he has with his son, you don't just, and for you, Leah, you're a mom, you're a single mom, you know, in a way, like, how blessed are you that you get to be stingy with
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm always looking at the positive. Yeah, this is
that you get
and
to have him all to yourself.
and I raised this most incredible human being, and I'm not anti men, I'm not anti husbands, I'm not anti anything like that. But when this journey started for me, I knew that in order to survive it, I was going to learn how to move through it. I was going to learn how to become. I'm a very selfish person, but it's not in a bad way, but it's in a way that I prioritize myself always. And this is what I teach my clients to do as well. Prioritize yourself, and it will make you a better person for the people around you, And so because we don't have any really valid education on how to move through the loss of a child. The Kubler-Ross grief cycles was written for people that are dying. It had nothing to do with how to deal with stuff after they're gone. And this is never going to be a cycle. And so I can only commit to the mom part of it because my only goal, honestly, is to help grieving moms. If there is anything I can do to say, to support them, to help them learn how to prioritize you. And so when I say if her husband, this was not one of my clients, this was in a, nothing like that, but, the husband wouldn't allow her to keep the photo and the remains on the table. Well, there were a lot of issues before that. Okay.
Right.
So if you were already dealing with it before your son died, that's not going to change. Like if you have a long established pattern of this, it's not going to change. And you really have to decide, do I have energy to fight it anymore?
That's right.
And I will always defer and recommend to people, no, if you were not in a good supportive relationship before, it will certainly not get better now. It's not worth the risk. It takes every ounce of energy you have to survive this. And so conserve your energy for the necessary stuff, not dealing with that.
Right.
That's my summary.
And honestly, us losing our children, it made us change a lot. Like, I don't have energy for anything like
Yes.
arguing, or it's just, I became a different person.
Me too.
Like, I need to focus on myself, on my oneness. And it's like, we don't care about materialistic anymore. It's just, materialistic is nothing. Our kids didn't take anything,
Gosh.
and that's what made me learn a lot, that just live life day at a time, because we don't know what could happen.
That's right.
That's
Right.
I do that too. I'm not
No,
worried about tomorrow.
no,
Nope.
me either.
It'll happen, it'll come, and yeah, it's a very peaceful way to live. It's
Yeah.
interesting to me to learn. I've never talked to other grieving moms that say that too. Like, yeah, I've lived for today like that, and tomorrow
Yeah, and
I not worry about.
I thank God. Thank you, Lord, for another day that I'm closer to my son.
Yeah.
Honestly,
That's right.
every single day and every night,
Yeah.
I'm closer to you, Junior.
It's tough being so young and going through this. I
Yes.
got decades,
I wish I was
Oh
80 years
gosh.
old.
Maria,
Lee-
I'm sorry. I
Oh,
want to say one last weird
go
thing
for
about
it.
grieving mom humor. See, in these grieving mom groups, I realized just how like we are. There was a lady that she was diagnosed with a very aggressive cancer, and she died very quickly. And we and including her were all happy. I mean, it wasn't a moment of us grieving for her loss. It was, girl, you were almost there. I
Mm.
mean, that's how hard this is in secret. This is a sick thing that some people may think, we celebrate when we get to see our kids again, and it
Exactly.
changes you. It rewires every part of how you think and how you move, and the norms are not the same anymore.
No.
I just had to say that.
Oh, please say that because I think, honestly, I'm just here quiet in the background listening to you three because I think it's so important to have those open conversations. And maybe there's a grieving mom listening going, oh my God, she thinks exactly like me. And it almost, I feel like it gives people permission because they heard somebody say it out loud to be like, oh, I'm allowed to feel that way because I heard Leah speak, or I heard Stephanie share, or I heard Norma tell her story, and I feel the same way. And I think it brings some peace to them to have that permission to feel whatever you need to feel. And there is what I'm hearing from all the moms. Let me know. There is no right or wrong way. Just do you. And you know what I found interesting, Leah, when you were talking, you said the word selfish.
Mhm.
And I thought, what is wrong with society that we have to say self-care is selfish?
I know.
That not messed up. That should just be
Mhm.
like,
Becomes such a stigma to take care of
yeah,
yourself because the world wants us to take care of everyone else.
as
But in this
moms.
world, we came by ourselves and we leave by ourselves.
Right.
Yeah.
Have to take care of ourselves.
I
Yeah.
Um,
quit taking care of people when Thomas died. I've done that my whole adult life. I mean, I've been a crisis management social worker for, and I was done.
Yeah.
mhm.
done. And that, when you make decisions for your own energy, it's like peace.
Because you no longer have the capacity to even deal with unnecessary things anymore. Like it just
That's the
doesn't
truth.
exist. It's like, every time I talk to my friends, I'm like, I don't have the energy for this anymore. Like maybe 10 years ago, I could argue my ass off with someone and go for it for hours and not give a shit.
Me
But
too.
now, if it takes more than 5 minutes of my energy, I'm pissed because I'm done. Like I don't want to deal
Yeah.
with stuff anymore. I just want to be happy in the sense of what I have now. And happy is not the happy that you're thinking like, oh, I'm so happy. No, it just means being alive another day.
It's
Yep.
as good as it gets. And we have to have a name for the best it gets, and happy equals the best it gets, I mean, it's on our scale,
My other son, he is 17. He's about to be 18. He wants to move to Finland. And I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, you can't leave your mother. And then I'm like, but he has his own life to live. How selfish
Say
would I be?
Poland.
Yes. I'd be like, how selfish would I have to be to tell him no? Or no, you can't do that. Or no, you can't dream of that. Or, to stop him at any level just because I'm so paranoid, right? That, I already lost one child. What can happen?
Yeah.
And he's my boy, he's my baby. I still see him as a little baby boy in my arms, 6-pound little baby. And then Josiah was 9-pound big baby, and they're just both my babies. And I just want to keep them little as long as I can. And sometimes I think about it, and I guess it's like a grieving mom humor. And I'm like, my baby's still my baby forever because he's forever 3.
Yes.
So he'll always be my baby. And I have to let my other baby grow up.
You do. You too. And because this life goes on, the train does not stop even for half a second for us, and learning how to accept it as it's happening is, the joy in how to move forward. It's hard. It's hard.
So just wanted to say we are coming to the end of the
Okay.
podcast. But before we go, because I love hanging out with you ladies. I always learn so much, and I hope other people listening, it opens up their hearts. And if you are a medium and you are out there giving readings to grieving moms, you need to listen to this podcast because education is important. But before we go, and with the holidays approaching, any last words that you guys want to add to grieving moms?
If you want, I personally think if you want to celebrate, celebrate. If you don't celebrate. You don't have to celebrate. Be you. Because there's gonna be a part missing. Always, and just continue whatever your heart feels like doing. You do not have to celebrate the holidays if you don't like to.
I want to say that don't forget, as a grieving mom, you always have the option to opt out of the family gatherings, of cooking, of celebrating any part of it. I've declined 2 wedding invitations since Thomas died. One was my niece and one was his best friend. And I just couldn't do it. I wasn't willing to, put myself through it. So you can decline any part of this holiday season celebration that doesn't feel good. And if you do want to celebrate, get some people on board and incorporate your child into that celebration. That's what living forward with a deceased child looks like.
Do what makes you happy. Do what you want to do. You owe nothing to nobody. The world has already taken enough from us by taking our child. And we don't owe anything to anybody. No explanations, no reasonings. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. And if you want to do it, go full force. But don't feel like you have to do something just because of a stigma or just because of what's expected of you, because the world already did the unexpected to us. So why should we do what anybody else expects us to do? It's about us now and how we choose to move on.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Beautiful.
That is beautiful. I heard once, no is a complete sentence.
Mm-hmm.
You don't
Yeah.
have to explain. You can just say no, thank you, and
Exactly.
that's a complete sentence. And just like you said, you owe nobody nothing.
No.
So I want to say thank you so much, ladies, for being here tonight and for sharing your children with the world. And we get to know them through your eyes and through
Yes.
the stories and through the
Mm-hmm.
pictures and the pins and the cushions and see their beautiful smiles. It is just, it's so beautiful. So thank you for
Yeah.
opening your hearts and sharing your stories with all of us. And for everybody that's listening, I will have all their contact information. There is a podcast up that they shared their story, so I will be sharing all their contact information once again. And if there's anything extra that you ladies would like me to share, just send me links, or do you want to share now anything extra that we haven't talked about?
I would
No.
like to say about my podcast because it's such a
Oh,
big
that's
deal that
right. Yes, yes.
oh geez, after our meeting in July, I did commit to like getting something motivated in my life. But for Thomas's 3-year anniversary, I motivated myself enough to get the first podcast recorded, and what I'm calling it is Still Here, because I am still here despite everything. And that's the theme of it. And I recorded the first episode and released it the week of his anniversary, the death anniversary. And, you know, it's tricky trying to record something for grieving moms that's not going to be hard to listen to. You know,
Yeah.
it was a very fine line that I tried to walk. So anyway, it's Still Here, a Shattered Hearts Oasis podcast. And it's on Apple and YouTube. And
Okay.
I'll connect with you, Maria, on the collaboration for this one.
Yes,
It was
please.
nice, Leah, by the way.
Oh, really? Thank you. I haven't
Yes.
hardly got any feedback about it. And so
No, it was nice.
I just don't know. Thank you, because I put a lot
It
of
was
work
good.
into it. Like, I'm honoring Thomas and this child, look, guys, perfection, right? I mean, legit. So
It is
Perfect.
perfection.
I
Look at that
can't
smile.
I can't do anything related to him that is not perfection. And so thank
I
you.
love it.
I
You're
really,
welcome.
really appreciate it. So I guess I'll do the next one.
Yeah, I was starting to write too. I barely started, but I'm not, you know, I don't- I need to like redo and stuff. But
Yeah, it's tough. It is so
yes,
hard to think as a grieving mom. I don't even,
Yeah.
you know, but look, it'll come to you. Like the
yeah,
timing was right for me to do it. I didn't chase it down. I mean, it was just like, oh, it's the perfect time for the anniversary. Let's lay down this track, and I did. So
Okay, I have to share it. You'll have to send me the link so I
I
can
will.
share it so everybody can
Yeah.
go
it's
there.
good, Maria.
Yes. And then just FYI, guys, as you listen to her podcast, please go 5-star it, because as you 5-star it on the Apple or the link that you send me, it will push it to the top so more people can see it.
Okay.
Okay,
All
So
right.
for those of you that listening to this podcast, go in the show notes, look at the link to Leah's podcast, listen to it, and then 5-star it so it goes up in the charts, and then more moms will
Yeah.
see it. It just gets pushed through all the noise. So yes, we
Okay.
definitely want that. We want that link so we can
Thank you.
share
Thank
it.
you.
And any other links that you ladies think of that you want to share, just send it to me and I'm going to share. And for those of you that are listening, just below the video or when you're listening to the audio, look in the show notes. All their contact information will be there and all the links to everything will be there. And it'll be super easy to reach out to these moms if you feel you want to. But yeah, definitely follow Leah.
Yeah.
And everybody
thank you.
else. And I would love to have you back again as we follow your
Yeah.
journey and you share the what you're up to. I think would be a beautiful story to follow
Yeah.
because I know everybody loves hearing from you. So
Yeah. Thank
thank
you.
you for being
All right,
here.
thank you, Maria.
Thank you so much.
You're
Bye,
welcome.
girls.
Okay, goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.